Well, hello. Good afternoon. Wait a minute. Gotta hear myself coming back a little too much. There we go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the BFTAA and More Show. I'm your host, Louis George Walker, coming to you live and in living color from the KUAW radio studios in the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, located at 4510 East Linwood Boulevard in Kansas City, Missouri. So we're bringing you today, yes, sort of the Eclipse show, of the BFTAA and More. This is a product of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center that came together to form this radio station. KUAW stands for Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. And we are so glad that you're able to join with us today. And we can go over some of the fun things that happened today and things that are going on in the world of space, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, all of that good information. So it's good to be here, and we're going to get into it. Now, if you're listening to us, or if you want to tell a friend, tell them they can go to KUAW-radio on Facebook or KUAW Radio on YouTube and on Twitter. We'll get that out there right now. Let me forward this over since they've changed up their thing, but we do like to still go ahead and forward information to you. It's at KUAW Radio. Yes. They know us there. All right, so we're on Twitter right now too. So you can click on that link. You'll go to us live from Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Now, if you want to hear us audio only, where you pick up the audio broadcast that we have, all you have to do is go to your browser or tell Alexa to play KUAW if you have a smart speaker, or put KUAW in on your browser. We'll pop up. We're on TuneIn. We're on the Get Me Radio app, My Radio Tuner, Radio Garden. You can also pick us up on our webpage, www.kuaw.org. So if you have a Bluetooth connection in your car, just pull up KUAW Radio and you can listen to us when you drive. We broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year on the audio side, and then we do some live broadcasts too. But you can pick up our old school jams, some of the blues that you haven't heard in a while, and smooth jazz right here on KUAW Radio. So we're Kansas City's global community radio station, and we like to bring you information and news that you don't always get everywhere else in town. But that's what we're doing here. So as we get ready to get started today, and we always do, we go with NASA, what's going on in the world of space, and NASA is the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. So we'd like to bring you some information from them, and they're talking a little bit about the eclipse. So we have a couple of bits that we'll do from them, but we're also going to be doing some information that a friend of mine had posted on the web, and then I did some research to look it up myself so that we can talk about historically some of the things that we've been doing as it pertains to the eclipse. So we got a little bit of news, a little bit of information, a little bit of education that you can get. That's right. So we're going to get right into it, and we're going to go now to Space to Ground as we start off. Let's see if I can get that up as one of our first things that we'll bring to you. So let's go to Space to Ground.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Kayla LaFrance, and welcome to the Houston Museum of Natural Sciences George Observatory. As astronomers and space enthusiasts across the U.S. prepare for the next total solar eclipse, so are the crew aboard the International Space Station, preparing for their unique view of the celestial event. On Monday, April 8th, the orbiting laboratory will be on the day side of Earth 3 times during the total solar eclipse. the Expedition 71 crew will be able to look out the windows and experience the eclipse and witness the famous shadow from above. However, while millions are traveling into the path of totality, the astronauts will only see the eclipsing moon as a partial solar eclipse, much like how most of North America will see it. During their orbital passes, the astronauts will be able to see the large shadow, around 115 miles wide, created by the solar eclipse as it travels through Mexico, into America, passing over Texas and onto the northeast before crossing over the Canadian Maritime provinces and exiting over the Atlantic Ocean. The shadow will move across North America at more than 1,500 miles per hour. So while skywatchers in the center of totality can expect over 4 minutes of shadow, the ISS crew, traveling at 17,500 miles per hour, will experience the eclipse for a much shorter time during each pass. Please join us on Monday for NASA's live coverage as the total solar eclipse moves across North America. We will have appearances from NASA astronauts Tracy Dyson and Jeanette Epps from the station's Destiny Laboratory, plus an inside look at NASA's Eclipse science experiments and watch parties along the path of totality from Texas to Maine. As NASA astronaut Laurel O'Hara nears the end of her 204 days in space, she joins her Soyuz crewmates in departure preparation, preparing their belongings and checking out their Sokol entry suits, which they will wear in the Soyuz capsule during re-entry. The trio is set to undock from the space station for their return trip inside the Soyuz MS-24 spacecraft on Saturday, April 6th. After undocking, the crew will deorbit and re-enter Earth's atmosphere before parachuting to the ground in Kazakhstan. During her time on orbit, O'Hara conducted and participated in countless experiments and science investigations, including the production of flawless space fibers. Optical fibers are used on Earth and in space for applications in medicine, defense, cybersecurity, and telecommunications. Early parabolic research showed that optical fibers produced in microgravity can be higher quality than those made in normal gravity. The Flawless Space Fibers investigation is using the space station to demonstrate new manufacturing technology developed by Flawless Photonics to improve the quality and length of optical fibers produced in space. From mid-February to mid-March, the investigation manufactured more than 7 miles of optical fiber. These space-drawn fibers are set to return to Earth soon for analysis. Here's to clear skies for all skywatchers next week. That's Space to Ground. Thanks for watching.
All right. So that's what's going on in space. So they were getting ready for it, and today it actually did happen. I don't know if you got out and saw it any, but I did. I definitely wanted to try to take a few pictures, but you got to have special lenses to take pictures of the sun as it's going into totality, which we didn't have a total eclipse here in the Kansas City area. But I did get a couple of pictures up, and I'll try to show them to you in the next few minutes. I'll let you see a little bit of what NASA has. We'll go to What's Up NASA right now so that you can see what they were talking about for the month of April, which includes the eclipse that was coming. And I'll try and see if I can get a couple of pictures ready to show you. So let's go right now to What's Up from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
What's up for April? Some easy-to-spot planets. There's still time to observe Comet 12P. And how to enjoy this month's solar eclipse if you're not in the path of totality. For several days in the first half of April, early risers can watch Mars and Saturn rising together in the morning. Taking a look about half an hour before sunrise, you can find them low in the east, about 10 degrees above the horizon. They're at their closest on April 10th and 11th, but still really close in the sky the whole second week of April. Now on the evening of April 10th, you can find the moon with Jupiter in the west. Jupiter is easy to identify as a bright, unflickering light low in the west following sunset all month. Being just a couple of days after its new moon phase, the moon shows only 7% of its illuminated surface on this evening, making for a beautiful crescent shining there with the giant planet Jupiter. This is also a good night to have a look for Comet 12P, Pons Brooks, which has been getting brighter and is easily observable with binoculars or a small telescope, especially if you can get away from bright city lights. The comet will be just beneath the moon and just right of Jupiter, but you'll have to be quick as it drops below 10 degrees elevation an hour after sunset and then sets an hour later, so you'll want a clear view toward the horizon and be looking for it as twilight ends. If you want to catch this comet, do it soon, because it will be too close to the sun in the sky to be observable after mid-April, and later, when it makes its closest approach to Earth, it will be on its way outward from the sun and growing fainter. There's a total solar eclipse on the way, and it's kind of a big deal. We've been really fortunate to have 2 total eclipses visible across a wide swath of the US recently, first in 2017 and now on April 8, 2024. The next time such an eclipse will cross the states is 21 years from now. If you live in or near the path of totality, or you're traveling there to experience the eclipse, you're in for an incredible experience. But what if you're not going to be able to experience totality for this eclipse in person? What can you expect, and how can you still enjoy it? Well, for starters, NASA has you covered with a live webcast from multiple locations as the moon's shadow moves across the country. So join us for the total eclipse online, whatever your plans. If you're anywhere in the continental US outside of totality, you'll still experience a partial solar eclipse. The amount of the sun to be covered by the moon at maximum eclipse depends on how far you are from the path of totality. In observing a partial eclipse, you'll still need to use specialized eye protection such as eclipse glasses, a pinhole projector, or a telescope with a solar filter. One of the easiest methods is something most of us have in our kitchen, a regular colander. These make excellent pinhole cameras that project the eclipse onto the ground. And barring that, the sun dapples that filter through the tree leaves do something very similar. It's also fun to note the eerie way the sunlight dims during the eclipse, especially in places where the moon covers 80% or more of the sun's disk. NASA has a bunch of eclipse resources to help you get ready for this awe-inspiring celestial event. There's info on safe viewing, citizen science opportunities, and you'll even find our Eclipse Explorer, where you can find eclipse details for your specific zip code. From wherever you're observing, solar eclipses are remarkable events. So observe safely and join our live webcast, because it's an event you surely don't want to miss. Here are the phases of the moon for April. Stay up to date on NASA's missions exploring the solar system and beyond at science.nasa.gov. I'm Preston Dykes from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and that's what's up for this month.
All right. So that's what's up for NASA. Yes, the eclipse was in the news. It was being televised. We were watching it everywhere. It was definitely great to see. This is the second one relatively. I saw the one in 2017 where we had totality here in the Kansas City area. We didn't have it now, but they say in 21 years it'll be coming over to the United States again. Of course, you can always travel to see it. I saw that there are some people that came to the United States from other countries just to view the solar eclipse. So you may find out where it's going to be. It may be going over the islands or someplace that you want to go visit, and that would be a time to go and see it if you get a chance. Let me see, trying to get my mic right. Okay. Yeah, so the eclipse happened today. I was outside. I said, oh, man, this is great. So I went and got my camera. I was going to take some pictures of it, but the sun was still way too bright. If you put the camera up to it, it was just a big white light, basically, because you don't generally take pictures of the sun straight out, and it's about like your eyes. So I didn't have, I have some lenses, some dark lens covers that I can put on for sun, but they're just like your sunglasses. They're not dark enough to be useful in the eclipse, just like they told you regular sunglasses don't block out enough light. Same thing with the lenses for a camera. I put my darkest, matter of fact, I put 2 of them on there, and it still wasn't dark enough. So it definitely requires some protection. So I was sitting there thinking, I said, well, these glasses, the eclipse glasses that I have, they're dark enough. So what I did is I said, well, let me try and take a picture through the eclipse glasses. Now, I wasn't looking up at the sun. I put that over the camera lens, and then my camera actually has a LCD screen. So I wasn't looking at the sun. I was actually looking at the screen on my camera as I was doing it. And I got a couple of pictures. I took a few pictures, and you can see them if you go to BFTAA, or the Black Family Technology Awareness Association's Facebook page, or KUAW's Facebook page, or you can go to L. George Walker's Facebook page. I posted all of the pictures, but I did download a couple of them just now to see if I could show you what a couple of them look like. And here's the first one. Wait a minute. Let me see. Let me put it over this way. Yeah, I'm putting it right there. Okay, here we go. So that's the first one, and if you notice the light part over here to the side, that's the edge of the lens of my glasses that I have. But this is actually the sun and the moon, and that was a picture taken from my backyard today. Have one other one on here. Just a second. Let me get it in position. Okay, here's the second one. There's another one, not too bad of a shot. As I say, you see the light part because the lens, the edge of the glasses is right over on that right-hand side there. So that's it when it was coming out of the sun was coming back from its 90 degrees out. But that's a picture I was able to take from my backyard also. So I got out there to do a little amateur photography. I won't go out and buy a special lens, though, since it's not going to happen again for 21 years. If I'd have thought about it ahead of time, well, really, I should have bought one back in 2017. I'd have had 2 chances to use it right quick. But sometimes these opportunities get past us without us being able to take advantage of it. But that's what I wanted to show you is what I had done. Another thing that I wanted to bring to you as we go back in history is to talk about predicting these eclipses. If you notice that they know when the next one's coming, and they were able to tell us in 2017 we were going to have one in 2024. There'll be one in what did he say, 4001? 21 years from now, yeah, probably 45. Yeah, so that would be 2045 that the next one will be happening. So scientists, mathematicians have been able to plot and figure when the sun is going to come across the face of the moon. And that has been going on for quite a while. And one person that was very good at it, who happened to be an African American, was Benjamin Banneker. Benjamin Banneker was a genius. He was an African American born in the 1731. So he was born in a time when African Americans were slaves for the most part in the United States. He was born in Maryland. He was self-taught, and one of the first African Americans to gain distinctions in science here in America. Now, Africans have been doing science for eons before then, but here in America, that's where it was. He spent most of his life on his family's 100-acre farm outside of Baltimore. He taught himself astronomy by watching the stars and learned advanced mathematics from borrowed books. So that was it. He was also an inventor. Benjamin Banneker built a clock entirely out of wood that ran for decades, keeping precise time. So that was in 1752. He made a clock out of wood. And then Banneker again got famous, and this is what it was about solar eclipsing. He successfully forecast when there was going to be a solar eclipse in 1789. And his correct prediction contradicted those of better-known mathematicians and astronomers around the world at that time. So he said no, when it was going to happen. Banneker's abilities impressed many people, including Thomas Jefferson, who recommended him for the surveying team that laid out Washington, D.C., making it the monumental capital it is today. So Benjamin Banneker, largely self-taught, an astronomer, a mathematician, a genius, was able to predict a solar eclipse in 1789. When we didn't have computers, when they didn't have electricity, none of the modern things that you would think for predicting something like that. And as a lot of other mathematicians and astronomers were getting it wrong, he was able to forecast when it was going to happen, and it happened. So he was a famous mathematician. He also printed an almanac that farmers used to know when to plant crops and stuff. Those were things that were very important back in those days because they didn't have weather forecasters. They had to go by what astronomers, what people that had looked at weather patterns in the past, how they had been able to forecast, and that's what the farmers would use to know when they should plant their crop. So you got real famous, or you were really not famous if your almanac was not good. And there were a few famous almanacs because that's what made people money, like that. So that was Benjamin Banneker, who, as we talked today about eclipses, he was one of the early forecasters that had figured out how to forecast when there was going to be an eclipse, when the moon would get between the sun and the earth. To me, that's pretty good stuff of knowing the sun, knowing how the moon rises and sets, and the sun's traveling, that you can tell when they're going to cross paths over where you're located. So when you talk about hidden figures and the way the lady in there had to calculate where the rockets would land or where the capsules would land and what the trajectory needed to be, this was an early hidden figure in the name of Mr. Benjamin Banneker. So that's my little bit of history for you that goes in with today and the things that are going on with the eclipse. As I said, I went outside, did a few pictures of it. I thought, hey, let me get out into this. I kind of geek out on things like that. So I was running around the house trying to figure out how I could get some pictures, and I was able to do that. So I felt pretty good. I said, I got that done, So if you have a hobby, if you have things that you like to do, then you need to go out and experiment. Go out and give them a shot. Try different things at different times. Just to see, what kind of gets you interested in things. We all should be constantly learning. All should be constantly trying to see what's going on in the world, what we can learn about things around us. Life is a lifelong learning process, so don't sleep on it. Don't say you think you already know, you don't want to learn anymore and stuff. No, we should be wanting to learn all the time and continually. Now, NASA was showing, and I'll show you a little bit of, we're not going to watch all of their broadcasts, but this is what NASA had today as they were broadcasting the eclipse. So we're going to skip around and show you just a little bit of that to this afternoon. Let's see if we can bring that up, because that's something that was going on this week at NASA. And you can imagine that they were very excited about this. Here we go.
Once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. All right, but not everyone is going to be able to see the moon completely eclipsing the sun.
That's right, only those of us in this narrow path of totality, but just about everyone in the U.S. will get to see a partial eclipse today.
Now you see they're showing it in the
Yes,
corner,
I
they
hope
are
that
in the small
Cleveland here
screen
and everyone else along
as
the
it was
path
happening.
of
That's what,
totality
if
will
you
be
went
good
out
and
in your
clear.
yard earlier,
Okay, so
you
let's take a
saw
look at today's
the
path of
moon
totality.
slowly
It passes through parts of
going
Mexico,
through
15
there.
U.S. states, and southeastern Canada. There's an estimated 32 million people who live along the path, and not to mention the tens and thousands of people who travel to somewhere along it as well, like us. You know, you're from D.C. and I'm from Florida.
I feel very lucky to be able to get to travel to see this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to have live reports from our correspondents spread out across the path, all excited to share this event with you. Some recognizable locations in between: the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, home of the famous Indy 500.
Now we're going
and
to
then
move
also
this
Niagara
up a
Falls,
little
where
bit just so you can
officials
see a
expect up to
little bit
million
more
visitors. Look at our
of
team
what they
there
were
waving at you.
streaming today.
Happy to see you guys, and we'll hear from you soon.
Safe during a solar eclipse. During these celestial events, the sun, earth, and moon are in sync, creating solar eclipses. You can look directly at the sun during a total solar eclipse, but only when it's completely covered by the moon for a brief period known as totality. This is a really special moment. At all other times, you should wear eclipse glasses so that you don't say bye-bye-bye to your vision. Seriously. And eclipse glasses are not the same as regular sunglasses. No, they're not. Safe solar viewers are thousands of times darker and will have a specific certification that you should look for right here. Don't be a space cowboy and try to look directly at the sun. If you don't have eclipse glasses, you can use an indirect viewing method, like a pinhole projector. You can make one of these with something as simple as an index card with a hole, or a colander, or even your hands.
Now we're going to go when the eclipse is getting started, what they're showing in Mexico.
Especially that inner part of the atmosphere. We're really fortunate that here on Earth,
It's a little less than 50%
just the right size
covered.
and just the right distance from Earth, that it can completely block out the sun's disk during total solar eclipses. So we're really able to observe that inner atmosphere in a way that we can't normally. So this event is really exciting for both scientists and the public alike, and that's just such a cool experience to share together.
Thank you so much, Ashley. So if you're lucky enough to be in the path of totality, keep an eye out for that sun's outer atmosphere, the corona, and you'll know that you see these spiky features, and it's because the sun is heading towards its most active phase. So for now, let's head to our friends in Russellville, Arkansas. Jasmine,
You see what they're
Jasmine,
doing up in space now.
Today's total solar eclipse from space. And two, I know your crew member Matt Dominic will use a camera with a solar filter to photograph the sun being eclipsed by the moon. Will you also be taking photos of the celestial alignment?
I'm definitely taking pictures of the solar alignment. I think we're very fortunate to be here at this special vantage point to see such a special event at this time. So I'm definitely excited.
What about you, Mike? What's going through your mind as you're preparing to see such an awe-inspiring event?
Well, admittedly, I'm a bit of an eclipse junkie. My first one was like when I was 19 with the homemade telescope in the desert, and a few since then. And actually, during the 2017 eclipse, I was on a chartered aircraft several hundred miles off the coast of Oregon watching it. And I got a strange bucket list, and this is one of the things that's on it, to actually watch an eclipse shadow cross the Earth from space. So I'm ecstatic to see this box gets checked and just to see this amazing thing from up here.
Yeah, the fact that that was actually a box on your list is pretty amazing. And then now it's getting checked. So, for those wondering, this is
And
what the
now
moon
we're going
shadow
to go
will
to
look like
Dallas,
to Jeanette
Texas
and
to
Mike.
see when
We're gonna show you video taken
the eclipse
from the
first
space
happened.
station.
If you look around, you can see that the darkness is coming. Let's have a quick look at what we're looking at right now. We're almost there. We're a couple of minutes away.
Ooh, yep, just a crescent left.
So let's quickly talk about some of the ways that the public are participating in the eclipse right now.
Yes.
Michael, can you talk about some of the citizen science projects?
Yes, there are people all around the country right now making measurements of audio recordings to see how the environment is changing, and it is a great opportunity to do genuine science with just an audio recorder.
Fantastic. So we are almost like, let's see, a few minutes away. So minute 30 out, I think, actually. Okay. So let's have a look at the eclipse. Michael, what should we expect to see moments before totality?
Okay, so as we approach
This is when the eclipse is actually getting ready to happen. So if you missed it, this is a chance to see the total eclipse coming. That's when they have to really take off the glasses, because the special glasses that you use to view the eclipse, once it is in totality, you can't see anything, because they're so dark that it would black out everything. You have to take your glasses off where you can and just look at it. That's a very small sliver, so it's very close to being into a total eclipse. So as you watch that, it's slowly starting to go. This was the eclipse from Dallas, Texas. One of the first, probably the first major city that the eclipse was happening in.
Here we go.
It had come out of Mexico. But see, it's disappearing. It's disappearing.
Is coming over Dallas.
So that's what it is, as if we were in that spot. But this is a fantastic sight, something that doesn't come often. There you go. It's going.
It's totally dark here.
It's steadily going.
Wow. You can hear the crowd.
The last bit of lights.
It's gone. There's the eclipse. It's in totality. There you are, actually in the eclipse.
Absolutely breathtaking.
So this would be at a time that you could take your glasses off and actually look up at the sun, because there's no rays there.
Clearly visible. You can see that spiky structure just poking out. It is.
That's what it's like.
Beautiful.
Oh my goodness, I have tears in my eyes. I was not expecting this.
This is one of those experiences that you just never forget.
It's maybe once, twice in a lifetime, but if you travel, you can see them more often. There are eclipses happen quite a few times, just not over the same spot. It's in different places at different times when the sun and the moon actually cross paths. So, if you really start studying or check it out, you can find that out. That's what I wanted to show you a little bit of. If you didn't see it any other time, you got to see it right here, KUAW. This is the BFTAA and more show, and I'm just glad that we can bring you a little bit of what's going on today. All right. So as we move out of that and move on into the day, right now here in Kansas City, we had a great time last weekend, last Friday. The Urban Tech, Miss Ina Montgomery, they had an event called Brothers in Technology, and it's for young African Americans, middle school to high school, to come and learn about technology. A lot of times our young men are left out of the programs that are going on right now, but that's something that right here in the city we need to be aware of. So there were maybe 40, 50 young men that came from the different schools, charter schools, Grandview School District, and others to UMKC's campus for a day of technology. Black Family Technology Awareness Association actually was one of the workshops that students came to, and they came and I told them a little bit about the engineering design process in building robots. So the young men that were that came through, they put them in different sections, so we rotated classes around. And I gave them a hands-on project that they had to actually start building a VEX robot, some of the parts and some of the work that our students do when they're in our robotics program. So they came in, we went through that. We talked about careers, talked about entrepreneurship in engineering, and let them do some hands-on building to see what it's like to actually handle the tools and do the work, because that's all a part of the learning process. The young men were great. They were very attentive. They asked good questions. I thought it was a fabulous day. So my hat's off and a big thank you to Miss Ina Montgomery for hosting that event. That's what the Black Family Technology Awareness Association does and likes to do. We like to show our technology. We're going to be at Kelly Brook School up north in the, I think that's part of the Liberty School District, but we're going to be demonstrating our robotics and talking about our robotics workshops and our teams at Kelly Brook. That's going to be coming up shortly, but that's for the Kelly Brook PTA. We're also going to be doing some events as it goes into the spring good, and we want you to come too. I'm going to actually put this up starting in this week, but we're doing a project that we did last year called Remake Learning Days. Remake Learning Days will take place right here at our building, the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. We'll be outside in the parking lot with demonstrations, with science projects, letting you see the robotics and the things that our young people do throughout the year. So they're going to be showing you how to do robots. We may have a couple other hands-on demonstrations. We'll recognize our students that are part of our robotics team that are been working with us all year. This is going to be our closing event for this year, this school year, as we get ready to go into the summer and to next school year. So this is open to the public. It's totally free. We plan on having food, drinks, a good time for the whole family. So we want you to come out to Remake Learning Days. Remake Learning Days will be happening at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, 4510 East Linwood on May the 11th. May the 11th, and just bring your family out and see a little bit about this technology, about our robotics program. Hope to have some drones demonstrations going on out there. Let your kids learn a little bit about flying drones and how we can just get our kids, spark their interest in science, in technology. A lot of times our young kids are into it, and we want to keep that going on through high school so that they don't lose that desire to want to learn more, to investigate more, to become more technologically literate. And science is a whole lot of fields. It's not just about working with computers and rockets. Science can be with animals, can be with chemicals, can be with a lot of things, not just space, but what's going on in the sea, what's going on underwater. All of that's a part of science. Engineering has a lot of fields. As I was telling the young men, there's a lot of different engineering engineering forms or engineering directions that they can go through. There's electrical, there's mechanical, there's petroleum, there's civil, there's a lot of different engineering, but we want to get our young kids involved in that. We want them to know about the opportunities that are out there. As they say, a lot of times you can't want to be something if you don't know that exists. So we want to make sure that our young men, our young ladies, that our community knows that there's a lot of opportunities out there, and that if they apply themselves, they too can be a part of this digital revolution, of this scientific revolution. We need all the minds, all the brain power we can. The country, the world, has a lot of problems right now. And scientists, engineers, mathematicians, those are going to be the people to help solve that. And they're going to also need technicians and people that are able to implement some of the ideas that they come up with. So you may not want to be an engineer, and you may not aspire to that, but you may want to be a technician. You may want to do some other things in a field of science. So come out May the 11th, right here, the BFTAA and more Remake Learning Days project. Our Remake Learning Days, robots and more will be going on right here. We'll be glad to see you. So I hope you've enjoyed the day. Hope you got a chance to see the partial eclipse that we had. And if you traveled out to see the total eclipse, we'd like to hear from you. Why don't you contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association? And if you have some pictures, maybe you had a camera with a better filter than I had. If you have some pictures of the eclipse, send them to me. I'd like to see your pictures and what you were able to photograph of the eclipse, wherever you were, with whoever. So if you went to the totality in an area where it was a total eclipse, or if you did it from your home as an amateur, post those up for us. Contact us, BFTAA, Black Family Technology Awareness Association, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, BFTAA. We'd like to see your pictures. We'd like to hear from you and just see what's going on. So contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. We want you to feel a part of this organization and what we're doing in the community. We're a community-based organization, and we want everybody to participate in technology, to participate in science. It's not a closed private program or party. No, we're open, and we want everybody to be a part of it. So come around, hit us up on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. Let's talk about technology. Let's talk about science. Give us a call on our phone line here, 816-599-6893. You may want to get involved. You may want to help us out. Hey, if you want to volunteer to help at our Remake Learning Days, May the 11th, contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. You can email us at bftaa@sbcglobal.net. You can also call us, 816-599-6893. You can also pick us up and hit us up on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. We're reaching out to everybody in the community. Let's work together. Let's learn together. Let's build together. Thank you for watching. Be sure and check us out. We're here every Monday from 5 to 5:45, the BFTAA and More Show. Thank you for the time. Thank you for listening. I am your host, Louis George Walker. Hope you had a great eclipse day, and tomorrow is going to be even better. Have a great day. We'll see you next week. BFTAA and More, signing off.